Come on, man. You need exercise. This is your treadmill, huh? He's persistent.
Yeah!
Harness is not working well with Mr. Damien. Hey, buddy.
Let him go.
Go.
Oh! Oh my God, are you okay?
Judo.
Jesus!
I think he's broken.
We need to take a video.
I am.
Alright. I wish you got the two.
Scratching on the door.
Potentially suicidal thoughts or actions in some children, teens, and young adults within the first few.
I can't even realize like under.
What are you doing, tiny girl?
Rufus! Hi, Rufus! What you doing? What you doing, Rufus?
Series 9 on Food Network and the Food Network app.
Are you giving yourself kisses? Do you love yourself?
Squiddy, walk.
Dear my beloved audiences, today I want to tell you a story which is called Oliver, the Literary Dog. In the quiet village of Fernwood, nestled between whispering woods and old cobblestone streets, lived a scruffy terrier named Oliver. He was small, with one floppy ear and fur that stuck out in every direction, like he'd walked through a windstorm and decided not to fix it. But Oliver had something no other dog in Fernwood had, a love for stories. Oliver belonged to Miss Penelope Hawthorne, the elderly owner of Fernwood Book Nook, the town's only bookstore. Penelope had been a literature teacher in her younger years, and she spent her retirement surrounded by books, sipping tea, and recommending poetry to anyone who asked. Oliver had been with her since he was a pup, always curled up at his favorite spot, right by the reading chair near the fireplace. Though he couldn't speak, Oliver understood stories. When Penelope read aloud, he listened. His ears twitched at the sound of conflict, his tail wagged at happy endings, and he whined softly during sad chapters. Penelope swore he knew Shakespeare from Shelley, Dickens from Dr. Seuss. Every afternoon, children would gather in the bookstore for story hour with Miss Penelope. And every time, Oliver was there, sitting upright, eyes focused completely still, except when the plot got exciting. Then his tail would thump the wooden floor like a drum roll. One rainy Thursday, Penelope caught a terrible cold and lost her voice. "I can't read today," she said, sniffling from under her quilt. What will the children do without story hour? That afternoon, the bookstore sat empty, except for Oliver, who paced the rug, confused. He looked at the chair, then at the stack of books, then at the door. He barked once, then twice. He jumped up and knocked a copy of The Velveteen Rabbit onto the floor. Penelope blinked. "Do you want to read to them?" Oliver barked once more and ran to the front window, where children were peeking inside. Penelope sighed. "Well, I suppose we could try." She opened the door, and the children filed in, curious and giggling. "Miss Penelope lost her voice," said a girl named Lucy. "Is he going to read?" Oliver, standing on a small footstool beside the reading chair, barked once and pawed at the open book. Then, as Penelope turned pages, Oliver acted out the story. When the rabbit in the tail was forgotten, Oliver drooped his head and lay down, still as a statue. When the rabbit found love and became real, Oliver leapt and barked joyfully. The children watched amazed. "He's telling the story," whispered one boy. From then on, whenever Penelope was too tired to read, Oliver took the stage. Word spread, and soon, people came from other towns to witness the dog who speaks in stories. A local reporter came to write a feature. She brought a book of classic poems, skeptical. "Let's see how literary he really is," she said, and opened to Emily Dickinson. Oliver tilted his head as she read aloud. "Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul." As the words settled in the air, Oliver quietly walked over to a small stuffed bird on a shelf, nudged it with his nose, and curled up beside it. The room went silent. The article was titled, "The Dog Who Reads with His Heart." Oliver became a local legend, but the story doesn't end there. One day, a boy named Thomas came to the store. He was shy, barely spoke, and never looked up from his shoes. Penelope noticed him hovering near the picture books, but he never stayed for story hour. That is, until Oliver noticed him. Oliver walked over, gently tugged on a book with his teeth, where the wild things are, and dropped it at Thomas's feet. Then he waited. Thomas sat down. Oliver opened the book with his paw, and for the first time, Thomas read aloud. Haltingly, slowly, quietly, but he read. The other children didn't laugh. They listened, and Oliver stayed by his side the whole time, wagging his tail gently after each page. Week after week, Thomas came back. His voice grew stronger, his stories longer. Penelope, watching from the counter, wiped a tear from her eye. She later learned that Thomas had struggled with reading for years. He was afraid of making mistakes in front of people, but not in front of Oliver. Oliver never judged. He only listened. It became tradition. Every Saturday, one child would read to Oliver. He was the perfect audience, patient, kind, and always encouraging. By the end of the year, Fernwood Book Nook had to expand its reading rug to make room for all the new readers. Parents called it a miracle. Penelope called it the magic of literature. But really, it was the magic of a little dog with a big heart. As for Oliver, he never craved the spotlight. He only cared that the stories kept coming, because, to him, stories were like treats for the soul. And whenever a child found the courage to read aloud, Oliver was there, tail wagging, listening with all his heart. If you like this video, please leave a like and a subscribe. It will really help our channel grow. But if you don't like it, then just skip it, and don't forget to check out our other videos. Thank you very much and goodbye.